Good evening, Boise. It is Friday, April 10th, and you are watching another exciting episode of Our Voice, the multi-platform news show catering to Boise State's student life that is brought to you by BSU's student-run media outlet, The Arbiter, in addition to our talents of our classmates here at TVC TV Public Access. You can catch us here every 2 weeks, live on Cable 1, Channel 11 and 98, or on tvctvonline.org. My name is Samantha.
And I'm Lisa. And don't worry, viewers, if you miss a show, you can always go online to arbiteronline.com. You can catch our latest reruns or read our print edition. There are many ways to make sure that you get the scoop on what's going on campus. But just to make sure your voice gets heard, please send us your thoughts, comments, or questions to our new Twitter account. Just search for Our Voice Anchor, all one word, and we'll grab them live right here.
You can also find Our Voice on Facebook or send a comment to us at arbiteronline.com. However you want to offer us your voice, we want to hear from you. We have a lot to tell you about on tonight's show. Amanda will be back covering this week's student government elections, and we will release this year's election winners to you shortly. Colby is also here with some information about this week's State Board of Education meeting that happened Monday. This meeting affected us as students in many ways, and he will help us to understand just how.
And as usual, Tex and Trent will be covering sports here from school and around the nation. And Samantha will be bringing us an interesting profile on a man here in the Treasure Valley who helps individuals change their lives and escape a life of violence. But first, let's talk about some other things going on with campus life. Our student-run organization, the Red Circle Press, begins this week an exhibit of sorts at the Flying M Coffee House. Basically, they're giving students, teachers, community members, anybody who has a true love for the arts, a chance to take a new piece home. So the artwork consists of etching, woodcut, linocut, polyester plate lithography, and digital works. The RCP is putting the featured prints on display as a silent auction. Anyone can bid up until the 31st of April down at the coffee house. So if you haven't made it down there yet, just go check it out. Once again, the silent auction is being held at the Flying M Coffee House. That's on the corner of 5th and Idaho Street, downtown Boise.
Some of our other creative arts students in the Metal Arts program have put together quite a remarkable exhibit of wearable metal art. That's right, wearable metal art. 15 pieces with the theme of change and hope, which were collaborated on by the students. They would work on the pieces for 45 minutes at a time, and then switch the piece to another artist to work on for their 45 minutes. This is all for the 6th annual Metal Arts Silent Auction these students rely on for fundraising purposes. The auction has been going on since the 1st of April and will continue until the 25th in downtown Boise at 415 South 8th Street at the R. Gray Jewelry Gallery. Take a little time off campus within the next 2 weeks and go enjoy the interesting art either of these groups of people have done.
And this week on campus, students got a special treat. It's not every day in Idaho, especially in Boise, that you get the opportunity to experience an authentic Native American tradition firsthand. The Intertribal Native Council puts on a week's worth of entertainment and cultural enlightenment. This week's worth of events is known as We Shall Remain Native American Awareness Week. There was a lot going on and still even a lot to come this weekend. So let's take a look and see what BSU and the surrounding community were able to attend. Kicked off the series of events on Monday the 6th by showing a video, Trudell, in the Jordan Ballroom. The storyline followed a man by the name of John Trudell, who is an activist turned poet. Some would even say a prophet to his Native American people. Tuesday continued with a film showing entitled Historical Impact of the S-Word, From One Generation to the Next. The film actually is a documentary about the various Indian tribes of Idaho trying to get our state to support the language squaw to be considered a derogatory term. Tribal leaders came together, but their attempts were in vain. The bill didn't pass Idaho legislation, and still today many people disagree on its meaning. And then there was Wednesday, geared towards students. This full-day event covered topics beginning with higher education, healthcare, and Native American mascots. Students were also able to take part in an interactive discussion regarding race and ethnicity. The day was meant to help connect and build understanding with students, especially in the college setting. Thursday continued the We Shall Remain event, this time including information for faculty, staff, and students on the subject of education and what it means for Native Americans to attend Boise State. But of course, the Intertribal Native Council wants future students to join and help continue this tradition. The student organization TRIO was on campus today, along with various Idaho reservations, to take part in the workshops, scavenger hunts, and tours, as well as a speech by Dr. Pavel from Washington State University, designed to encourage students to pursue higher education. But that's not all. Still to come this weekend is the main event that the Intertribal Native Council is encouraging all to attend. It's a cultural, eye-popping look into the time-honored Native American tradition, the Seven Arrows Powwow. The 16th annual event includes intertribal contest dancing, the Miss Seven Arrows contest, student organization performances, drumming, and grand entries both days. There is an entrance fee of $2 for attendance. Parking will be free in the garage only. A powwow is a Native American tradition designed to bring together family and friends. This event specifically brings in a gathering of people from all over the Northwest. During the Seven Arrows powwow, there are many features. The intertribal dances are fun for all. Everyone gets up and dances. There are honor songs which do exactly what you would assume. They are special songs to honor another person. Of course, this wouldn't be a true powwow with a little friendly competition. The dancers split up into several categories and will be judged on their performances throughout the weekend in hopes of winning their contest or special. This year's nominated head woman dancer is Melanie Fillmore, and the head man is Greg Forrest Davis. Our Boise State Intertribal Native Council puts a lot of work into making these events, making sure that they were fun for all. It's a nonprofit gathering, so donations towards us continuing the spectacle are always appreciated. The festivities continue throughout the weekend. In case you plan on attending, the organization would like to make sure that you can make the most enjoyable experience out of this. I wrote an article that's in the arbiteronline.com, so you can go check that out. And it gives you the proper etiquette on an event like this. So check it out before going. And I hope to see you at the Seven Arrows Powwow in the Jordan Ballroom either Saturday 10 to 11 or Sunday from 10 to 6.
On to another topic, viewers. Boise and the surrounding Treasure Valley are hotspots for immigration from all over the country and the world. And as the area grows in population, the influx of violence does as well. Children all over our valley are encountering drugs and the dangerous life of gangs. A local man named Peter Vasquez used to be a part of this world and is one of the fortunate ones who was able to find his way out, albeit after spending 10 years in jail. Now, all these years later, Peter has a nonprofit group called Second Chance Grace that is helping children and young adults from the Treasure Valley and elsewhere to escape this world as well. Peter puts many hours and lots of love into this program and has really made some wonderful contributions to our community. He travels all over the country talking to schools, churches, juvenile halls, wherever he is needed, telling his story in order to hopefully affect a child enough to steer them away from this life. I talked with Peter just yesterday, only a few hours after he returned from a 3-day speaking engagement, and commended him on his work with these youth, and learned some wonderful information from him. The video on this is ready. Let's see that now.
That I would be 38 years old. The average age of a gang member is 20 years old in this country. There's a lot of different crime, you know, and drugs and guns and gangs all run together. You can't separate them. If you have gangs, you have drugs. If you have drugs, you have guns, you know, and gangs. They're all together. And, you know, Boise, by us, you know, we're like the hub of, you know, bringing foreigners here, you know. I can tell you right now, they're forming their gangs. I mean, I remember 4.5 years ago when I would go out there to the, what is it, Julius Davis Park, whatever, you know, or out there in that area where, you know, everybody was playing soccer together and everything else. Now it's your race over here, your race over here, the right race over here, and they're just all separated now, you know, and that doesn't look good, you know. It just, and then the kids, if they're looking for, you know, where you got to remember they're in a foreign country to them, you know, and the kids are going to start grouping up and hanging around with one another, and then they form their own gangs, and so that's a big problem here right now, and that's going to explode. And so our highest burglary rate is an Eagle, and why is it an Eagle? Because there's people with money with an Eagle. So and what is the target? The target is, you know, college kids. Let's get them hooked on heroin, cocaine, meth, whatever it may be. And when their mom and dad are on vacation, then they owe a certain part of the money, and they haven't paid that money back because they're so hooked on the drug. So this will rip off their mom and dad to pay what the son owes or the daughter owes, and that happens a lot. Go rip off the whole gun case and everything else while they're on vacation because that kid's hooked on drugs. So that's what drug dealers do. They target that kind of stuff. And a lot of these gangs, they migrate. They get tired of getting shot up in California, so they'll move here. They get tired of shot up from Seattle, Washington, wherever it may be, or Vegas, or the surrounding states, Nevada, whatever it may be, Tahoe, whatever, and then they come here. And then, if the family still has that mentality, they're gonna migrate here, and they're gonna start blowing it up. Because I go to juvenile corrections. I started there, speaking with the kids and learning what the kids are needed, and so I've done a lot of things with jails. I'm a clergy for jails. I sit on the Juvenile Justice Council for Boise. Me and my wife. I'm trying to get support right now to build the first maximum security prison cell. We built a mobile prison cell that has audio playing for remorse people that have done 1 day in jail from people that have done life sentence in between, in all walks of crime. And that audio in the prison cell will be, I got a toilet and a sink that IDOT donated in the other room. And so people are already donating stuff for it. I just need the truck to get that funded and get that prison cell built. And when I speak in schools, then the kids can come outside and hear the audio of people that are remorseful about being incarcerated. And that's my way of helping to stop this, building more prisons than schools. I want to build more schools than prisons in the United States. And so, like for example, the other day I went to Ada County Jail. There was a 4th grade teacher. She killed somebody by drinking 2.5 glasses of wine and got behind the wheel and killed a pedestrian. And now she's sitting in Ada County Jail and ruined her whole life. She had remorse, so that's what I want, is people with remorse. People that drunk drive, people that steal, because these kids are not understanding the consequences. They're not understanding the 24 hours a day incarceration. They're only seeing glimpses and pieces on these Hollywood flicks and MSNBC that shows just here and there, but they don't show, and the kids don't grasp the reality of 24 hours a day. No private shower, no private restroom. Just imagine that. No trees in prison. No microwave. Just things that people take for granted every day.
You do a lot of good deeds. You do a lot of things to help people. I'm assuming it makes you feel good.
Yeah, of course. It makes me feel good. Just like for 3 days speaking out there. And it makes me I feel good giving back. And it's just, it's a good heartfelt feeling when you do something positive when you were just used to doing nothing but negative at one time.
Well, you do.
Even though he only spoke of a small part of what he and Second Chance Grace do for the community he helps. Beyond speaking engagements, he and his wife, Jerry Vasquez, team up to help as many people as they can. Second Chance Grace offers a tattoo removal clinic in Eagle, as well as extremely reduced rates so that they can afford them, helping ex-gang members to remove any tattoos that might affect their abilities to obtain decent employment or tie them to the gang life that they are trying to leave behind. They also help them to find contacts to obtain housing, schooling, employment help, or anything else that they might need in order to turn their lives around. There are numerous students here at Boise State that Peter and his organization have helped. They see the vision of Second Chance Grace as being to give hope to at-risk youth and young adults so they can lead purposeful, productive, and positive lives. If you would like to contact Peter or Jerry at Second Chance Grace, they have a website available at www.secondchancegrace.org or a telephone number of 208-703-6930. Donations for this nonprofit are gladly accepted as well. Let's take a break from news now and take this time to cut to sports. These guys are extremely creative. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to TNT Sports. I'm Trent.
I'm Tex.
Today we'll be talking some Boise State football along with the nationally ranked men's tennis team before jumping into national news with the Augusta Golf Tournament, which is also called the Masters.
The Masters.
And then some NBA playoffs some Major League Baseball opening week.
Yeah, man, let's get right into it with the local sports. BSU second spring scrimmages last week. The defense had a really strong start. And, it's good to have that with the rain coming out. You want to have a good, strong defensive stand when you know they can perform in inclement weather like that. What do you think about the start from the defense?
Well, it was what the defense needed. The last time in the first scrimmage, the offense took advantage of them. They let the quarterbacks do way too much damage down the field, and it was not the way the defense wanted to start. The second scrimmage, though, the defense got the revenge that they were looking for due to the bad weather conditions. It was raining the entire scrimmage, and quarterback Kellen Moore was not able to get any velocity or accuracy on the ball whatsoever, and that ended up contributing to numerous interceptions for Moore. Definitely not the way he wanted to have his second scrimmage, but also he can look back at the weather and say that was the main contributing factor. But Brandon Thompson had 2 interceptions, one really good diving interception, and even Kyle Wilson returned an interception for a touchdown. And the defense really emphasized how they wanted to regain the bragging rights in the locker room, and they were really able to do that this scrimmage.
Yeah, they were able to shut down the Broncos offense for 14 plays, only allowed 1 first down. So that's a good step when you're going against the first team on first team. But it wasn't all bad news for the offense either. DJ Harper had 67 yards, only carried the ball 5 times. That means he had some good stability in the inclement weather. And then you also had the backup, Coughlin, throw a 67-yard touchdown pass to
Josh Hill.
Josh Hill, yeah. And that got the crowd pumped up because, it's good to have a backup like that behind Kellen Moore in case he gets hurt or something. And, they had 2 goal line stands, the defense, but the offense able to punch it in twice. And they also had a couple of passing touchdowns. So it wasn't all bad for the offense, but it was also a pretty good day for the defense to make a statement.
Yeah, getting back to DJ Harper, he's just a really strong runner. He really emphasized all spring long how he wants to be a hard runner. And to go along with Jeremy Avery now and Matt Kaiserman, the Skyview native in the backfield there, they definitely got a huge advantage coming into this. And to have DJ Harper running as well as he is, averaging 13.4 yards per carry in his 5 carries in the second scrimmage, that's definitely what they're looking for. And Blackfoot native Josh Hill catching that 67-yard touchdown pass from Michael Coughlin, definitely what they needed to get back on track after their really slow start to the beginning with all those interceptions thrown. But to get along with more Boise State sports, the tennis team, the men's tennis team, is ranked 19th in the nation right now. They're traveling to Reno for their last road trip of the season. Who will they be relying on the most in this tournament?
I'll tell you what, for Broncos men's tennis, you're going to be looking at a lot this road trip at the seniors, Clancy Shields and Keen Feeder. They're both really strong leaders in this team. They've been stepping up this year, and they've also had a great record. Look at the International Tennis Association standings. Blaine Shields is number 20, and Keen Feeder 67. Keen was injured a couple years ago, but he's been able to fight back through that, and he's been shining pretty good. And not just those two, James Meredith. He stepped up really strong for the Broncos this year. He's only a freshman, got here in January, and he's ranked in the top 100. He's 71, and he's just a freshman. So you get Feeder and Meredith playing together in the doubles. They're number 50 in the ITA, and they always get that doubles point. You always have a good chance to win your match. And that's good going on the road like this because you want to get that momentum.
Talking about on the road, how important is it for the Broncos to finish the year with a win on the road?
Oh, it's a great importance to the Broncos. They just finished their last out-of-conference game against Denver, which they won. And to go on the road against your WAC opponents, New Mexico State and Nevada this week, you want to get those conference wins because they're the ones you really want because it's interconference. You got that rivalry going. And if they can get the conference games won, they have a really strong statement to make, and they might go a long way this year in the NCAA finals.
Well, getting away from Boise State sports, the Masters is going on this weekend at Augusta International Golf Course in Augusta, Georgia. Chad Campbell and Kenny Perry tied for the lead right now at 9 under par. What's contributing to their success right now, Tex?
Well, I'll tell you right now, like you said, Chad Campbell took advantage the first day of the Masters. The conditions were great. He almost shot a course record at 10 under, but he struggled in the last 2 holes. He ended up finishing the day out with 7. But like you said, he had a good day today, a strong showing. He shot 2 under par, which is not bad. But then you also have the senior Kenny Perry coming in. He had a 500 round today, and he could be in line to pass Jack Nicklaus's record of being the oldest man to win a major tournament. And you said Tiger's back at 2 under right now. That's nothing to worry about for him. He shot par today. Yeah, it's only par at the Masters, but it's par at the Masters. That's saying a lot. And what makes Tiger Woods is the fact that he uses the putter. and he hasn't been making those putts. They've been missing left and right by just a few couple of inches, and if he starts sinking those, the rest of the field's got to be worried.
Yeah, you know, Tiger finished with 3 birdies to go along with 3 bogeys today. Definitely not what Tiger is used to doing. He's used to dominating the competition. But Tiger, what people don't understand is Tiger does better in the later rounds of tournaments. Right now, you know, he's where he needs to be. Right now he is 7 back. He shot even today, shot 2 under the first round on Thursday. But it's nothing to worry about for Tiger. I mean, he's very frustrated right now, but he's going to be just fine.
I tell you what, tomorrow's Saturday's charges, you always see the veterans come up. Phil Mickelson had a late run today. He's at -3. He could be making a run. Jim Furyk at -4. He's won the Masters. So it's going to be fun to see tomorrow what happens. And today was also a pretty emotional day. You had a couple of veterans taking their last competitive play at Augusta with Gary Player and Fuzzy.
Yeah, but I definitely wouldn't be worried about Tiger. He'll be in the running.
I think Tiger will be good. So
fun round of the day. Look for him to make a run.
Let's get away from the Masters for a bit and get into your baseball. I know you're happy it's back.
I'm happy baseball's back. You always know spring's here whenever baseball starts. You know, it's just a great time of the year. Everyone, I mean, some of these teams, their only sellout of the season will be opening day, so it's great for everyone.
So so far of the couple days the season's been going on, who's your biggest surprise right now?
Well, my biggest surprise is the Texas Rangers. I mean, the way that their young hitters are playing, Ian Kinsler and Josh Hamilton, they're hitting the ball extremely well, and you know their averages are already around 300, and they just get better as the year go on. I mean, the batters at the beginning of the year struggle because the pitchers are healthy, but once the pitchers have a few starts under their belts, they start to lose their momentum and the batters get better. So I mean, it's just a great start, and the pitching staff right now. I mean, Kevin Millwood, the way he's been pitching so far.
1.29 ERA.
Yeah, I mean he outpitched the defending AL Cy Young winner Cliff Lee, and he's just leading the way for that team.
Well, talking about pitching, let's talk about my disappointment right now is the New York Yankees. They rallied back. They won 2 straight now. They finished the series with the Orioles. They didn't get swept, and then they beat the Kansas City today. But the pitching's been the problem. You see Chien-Ming Wang, CC Sabathia, both are pitching over 12 ERA right now. Do you think that's something to worry about for the Yankees, or do you think they need to get in the groove?
Well, I don't think it's something to worry about for the Yankees. Chien-Ming Wang, he's always your 20. He's going to get him 20 wins this year. CC Sabathia statistically has never been very good in April anyways. He always gets better as the season goes on. And the Yankees, after their first 2 losses, they've come back really strong with 2 straight wins and really good pitching performances by their new addition, Burnett, and the veteran Andy Pettitte. Andy Pettitte today only allowed 3 hits on 7 innings, and they defeated a quality Kansas City team who was 2-1.
I told you that the Yankees are my disappointment, but you told me you might have a different disappointment this year. Who do you think that is right now?
My disappointment is the Cleveland Indians. A lot of people picked them to win the AL this year. I mean, but they've already given up 29 runs in their first 3 games. I mean, just horrible pitching for the Cleveland Indians. Like I said before, their defending AL Cy Young winner Cliff Lee just got shelled in his first outing, and it's just definitely not what they were looking for. Being picked to do as well as they were.
One more side note on the Yankees. The last time they went 0-2 was 1998. What happened that year? They won 100 wins, and what happened in this series?
They swept the Padres.
It was pretty
for
good.
The World Series.
Let's move away from baseball now. Let's head to the NBA playoff picture. It's getting down to it, and right now it's looking like a pretty close race. Who do you think's going to be in the finals this year?
Well, I think right now you got to take the Lakers out of the West. I mean, the way that they're returning Bynum right now, and that just gives them. They're just so strong in the middle right now with Bynum, Gasol, and Odom. You just can never ever count those guys out. And the Lakers, I mean, Kobe's on a mission. He wants to get his ring. He wants to show that he can do it without Shaq, and this is definitely his year to be able to do that.
Well, like you said about Bynum last night, he came back and they just snapped Denver's 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, Bynum finished the game with 16 points and 7 rebounds, and it's definitely what they were looking for. And the other team that I'm looking coming out of the East is the Celtics, just because I think Kevin Garnett's coming back. They know how to win, and I think they're just going to continue to do that.
I'll have to disagree with you there. I think the Cavs might beat out the Celtics this year, mainly because of their home win streak right now. They're 38-1 at home. They've only lost 1 game. That was to the Lakers. So if it is become down to I think the Celtics, first of all, will be over Boston because Boston has trouble with injuries so far this year. And if Garnett gets hurt, he knows how to win championships. But if he gets hurt, is that team going to be able to step up? They've stepped up in his absence so far, but in the playoffs, it's a whole different story.
They'll be able to step up. They know how to win. I mean, they're 2-1 versus Cleveland this year. Cleveland did beat them at home just because Cleveland's 38-1 at home. But the one thing Cleveland does have going for them is they're going to have the home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs, which is huge for Cleveland because they need that, obviously, because they're not as good on the road as they are at home.
And I also took your pick with the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to win it all. So what are you going to watch this weekend, Trent?
I'm going to watch the Celtics and Cleveland right on ABC Sunday.
I'll probably be watching the rest of the Masters, see if Tiger can take a late game rally rather, and I'll also watch that Celtics game. So that's it for us today. I'm Tex.
I'm Trent.
Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, guys. You always have such entertaining information for us. So now we're going to head into the elections that happened yesterday and Wednesday. Amanda is going to fill us in on the background of each of the candidates and tell us a little bit about the platforms that they ran on. And then we'll come back to finally fill you in on who won the exciting race and will be our future leadership this next semester. So let's bring up that clip, please.
But first, it's been a big week at Boise State for anyone running for an ASBSU seat. And over the past few days, especially Wednesday and Thursday, we had candidates out on the quad campaigning, handing out flyers and stickers as well as food. And students seemed pretty motivated about the election in general. Unfortunately, last year, less than 2,000 students actually voted, so hopefully this year we had a slightly larger turnout. Now, the biggest race was for the executive positions, that's our president and vice president. Running, we had Trevor Grigg and Joe Bunt, who were the incumbent candidates, and they were running on a platform of real fiscal responsibility, things like tax-free textbooks, as well as changing the way colleges in Idaho get their money from the state legislature. They're really looking to lobby to change that funding setup. We also had Evan Merriweather and Chase Johnson, who were running on a platform of improving the communication with the administration, really making sure students are represented not just in the ASBSU realm, but also among people like President Custra and Vice President of Student Affairs, Michael Liberty. They really want open communication. Then we had two pairs running as write-in candidates, and they were Joe Huxhold and Anthony Podvin, who were running on a platform of campus sustainability. They really want a greener campus, as well as opening up communication lines with students, saying that they would send out emails periodically to the student body to let them know what ASBSU is up to. The other writing candidates were Mike Olson and William Brooks, who are saying they're the outsider candidates. They really wanted to represent a different point of view, a commuter student point of view, maybe a non-traditional student point of view, and allowing them to see what opportunities they have on campus. So it's interesting to see who our president and vice president will be and how it really will shape our next year at Boise State University, especially with the budget crisis right now. Student fees are being kept to a minimum. ASBSU will probably have less money to spend next year, so the president writes that budget. It will be interesting to see how he chooses to allocate those fees. What's most important is how ASBSU will shape next year. Students say they're really concerned about money. They really want fees held to a minimum, and they want someone to speak out in their behalf to keep money down. Students also say they're really interested in parking issues. They have a hard time parking, it's too expensive. I haven't heard any of the candidates actually address that issue, but if they're listening to the student voices, it's something that will probably be brought up. Most importantly is, as the budget winds down, we see less staff members in the administration, and it's interesting to see if ASBSU will pick up the slack and maybe gain more powers as that happens. So I'm interested, looking forward to next year, what our elected officials will have to say, and whether or not they will commit to really reaching out to students, really giving them a voice. Most students say they don't feel like they understand what ASBSU is doing, they don't know what they are doing, and they want more of a voice in student government. So we'll have to look at these elected officials to see how they choose to do that. And now it's back to you, Sam and Lisa.
Amanda, well, like we promised, the results are in, and we are bringing them to you now. For President and Vice President, we had returning officers Trevor Grigg and Joe Bunt beginning their second terms.
And there are 7 at-large senator positions, starting with Matt Almeida,
Reed Copeland,
Sammy Winkleman,
Aaron Henready,
Chase Johnson,
Elliot I,
and Julie Kirk.
For the College of Education, we had Cara Mia Del Marco.
Arts and Sciences is Justin White.
And for the College of Social Sciences and Public Affairs, we have Laura Rogers. We look forward to the upcoming year and the leadership qualities these students will bring us, and of course we do so with high hopes. I would like to wish all of them good luck in their newfound positions. Now, we did have a piece from Colby on the State Board of Education meeting that happened this week. Unfortunately, we're out of time tonight, viewers, so I will go ahead and put that up online for you to see later.
Also, if you want to go to arbiteronline.com, you can check out a very interesting article by Mary Albel, And she's our sports editor, and she'll give you a little more information about what's going on. And that's all we have for tonight. You can catch replays of this episode of Our Voice starting tomorrow at arbiteronline.com.
Don't forget to pick up Monday's edition of the Arbiter for more news on campus and to follow up on what you've heard here tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Samantha.
And I'm Lisa. See you next time right here on Our Voice. Good night, Boise.